we were in the process of developing our first 2-year curriculum from scratch. We have now had a class go through our first year and second year, and one class that has just finished the first year. And one thing that was really important to me in developing our curriculum was trying to find a way to connect some of the basic sciences with the practice of medicine and the development of clinical reasoning. And in my work previously, I'd seen a lot of third-year students and fourth-year students, for that matter, who had phenomenal funds of knowledge, really knew the textbooks backwards and forwards, but had a really hard time applying that to the patients they were seeing in real time. And so I realized we had to try to build in the clinical reasoning at the same time we were teaching them the knowledge, basic knowledge of different disease processes and different organ systems. And so I started talking to a bunch of different folks nationally and heard about a few different options for differential diagnosis builders. And so then went and did some further searching on the internet, and one that had not come up, interestingly, was Isabel. And then through my search, I found it. And it actually turns out that for what we were trying to do, it was really a nice fit for our second year curriculum. Yeah, we decided to use it because what we were trying to do really is a bit different than anywhere else. And let me go into more detail. The course that I direct is really our clinical skills course. So in the first year, we're teaching students how to communicate with patients, interview patients, do a physical examination, begin to write notes, although they're not really going into any of the clinical reasoning at that point because they just don't, at that point, have the knowledge to do it. With our second year curriculum, we really wanted to take what students knew already and then add that layer of clinical reasoning to it. And so the way we did that was really by putting our students into some simulated patient encounters, using the particular organ system that the students were covering in their basic science course, and exposing them to patients where they wouldn't know what the diagnosis really was, but they did know how to interview, and they did know how to do the physical examination. And by doing that, we were able to get them to build what we would call a problem representation, meaning sort of an assessment for that patient and what different types of potential diseases might be causing the problem that they were seeing. And what we needed to provide them with was a way to broaden that differential diagnosis and connect to other information resources to be able to learn more about that disease, because they, like I said, they hadn't learned it yet in their regular classwork. They would learn it over the course of the next few weeks. And so Isabel really did that perfectly for us in terms of allowing the students to build a broader differential diagnosis with some of the key aspects of the way the patient presented, and what we call a problem representation, so the age, the time course of their presentation, and then the ways in which those conditions were presenting. And they could build a broader differential, then they could link out to additional information resources to learn more about the specifics of those diseases. And so by the time of the end of that sort of block of material for the students, they really were able to connect the basic science, the pathophysiology with the patient types that they were seeing, and do it in a memorable way, so that when we retested them at the end of the year, they really had come a long way.